you know, there was an article released by, I think it was the Washington Post, which, you know, you got to take some of this stuff with a grain of salt. There's not, they're as likely to be making up stuff from these news sources as they are to not be covering reality, which is we've demonstrated that they're not covering reality. But what they've said is that from what are the names? Excuse me. Yeah, Gonzalez and this guy McNulty, who were basically they're the people going to be dealing. They're going to be sorting through all this stuff that they're confiscating from congressional offices to investigate to see whether these charges are true. And according to the Washington Post, they said that if these documents that we confiscated are returned, we're going to resign. And because because of all the uproar caused in the Congress, Nancy Pelosi and Pastor responded to this by just jumping on it. This is a bipartisan team, and they've been speaking out against it intensely. And Bush said, okay, well, got kind of frazzled. He said he's going to put a freeze on these documents for like 42 days or something. So these guys, according to the Washington Post, have responded by saying that they're going to resign if they don't have total control, absolute authority in this investigation. And what's sort of funny about this thing is that the Washington Post also says that the two biggest opponents to that statement were Cheney and Addington, which is not really what we know according to their characters about their views of absolute control of individuals in the government. They tend to swing on the side of absolute control of any one of their allies in the U.S. government. So that's, but if you look at how intense, like, because it was a pretty sloppy operation that this that it could come out so openly and have such an immediate reaction. So that's something we can continue to think about, whether or not that's a reality. And we'll be pulling more together on this. So, but that so that's another big act of hostility coming from the White House on in the midst of these investigations, right? So,
just to add to that,
yeah,
what Harley was saying was that the intention of this is probably to scare the congressmen that if you say your view, which is different in this period, this is going to happen, or this could happen.
Yeah, well, that's actually really crucial too, because what we're generating in the Congress is increasing collaboration based on the work that we're doing with with LaRouche's legislation for saving the auto sector, for retooling all this shutdown capacity. Because we're getting, since early this week, there's been a big shift in the collapse phase of the auto sector, where now you're basically you're getting just eBay style auctions of all the heavy equipment in these plants, right? In these auto manufacturers, right? There's it's actually the website, you can check it out, is dovebid.com, right? Which is literally they're just going for just getting rid of these what LaRouche said are national security resources, right? And and what we've found with some of our the people we're talking to in the Congress is that they've been very hesitant, about whether or not they can go with LaRouche. Well, it can't be as bad as you say it is. There's always going to be another way out. We just wait it out. Don't worry. Everything's okay. Crossing their fingers, hoping they don't have to do anything serious or courageous, right? And what this has been a real wake-up call. These auctions, seeing this stuff just get, you know, dumped within a day. You just have this whole sector of the economy just disappearing. And so this is very shocking to a lot of the people in the Congress. And this is another level of a drive which would force somebody to take a step forward on it. Now, and what you said is really crucial in that, because an attack on the Congress in this period is something that, you know, people like Cheney need to prevent individuals from stepping forward to defend the general welfare, to launch a sane policy of recovery outside of, you know, this fixed universe of, you know, perpetual warfare that we're facing with the Cheney apparatus. So, and just a last comment, what LaRouche said on this auctioning off is that it's totally illegal, right? They have no right to be, like Delphi has no right to be auctioning off their facilities.
Because they're going into bankruptcy?
Yeah, they don't rightfully own
That's true.
their own assets any longer because they've declared bankruptcy. So, so what this, I mean, and not to, you know, how much are they making for this stuff, right? Nothing, you know, very, very little money for these invaluable machines, right? For these invaluable facilities. And so, you know, we're in the process right now of already contacting a lot of the lawyers involved in the investigations with Delphi. We're getting this on the front lines for these guys to know that these financiers don't have the right to sell off this equipment. So you know, that's. I'll leave it at that. Are there any questions? Okay. All right. Good.
I got a quick question.
Yeah. What's up?
Do we have any kind of like tracking of where these machine tools are going? Because we were asked a question by a representative in the legislature on, I don't know, maybe were you there?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, you were there. But he was asking, like, you know, what's the division, like, how much of the auctioned off machine tools are being bought up by foreign companies overseas versus like American companies, that kind of thing.
We're looking into it. I mean,
versus maybe even being sold to the junkyard for scrap and all.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't find anything on that. I've looked into it a bit, but that's something that'll be useful to know. I think we're on top of that. So you know, maybe talk to Paul Gallagher.
Yeah.
I think he's looking into it.
But I guess either way, it's still one less factory. It's not like you're gonna, you know, build trains in the 200 machine tool shops.
I'll talk to DoveBid, see how many of their sales, see what you can find out from them. You know, I mean, also what we saw in Lansing the other day, it's not just that they're getting sold off, right?
Yeah,
a plant that was sold 6 months ago is currently getting bulldozed to the ground, right? All the metal is getting cubed to be sold as raw material. And what was once a, you know, fossil of cognition is now returned back to a low state of
Raw metal.
raw metal. Okay.